As we hurtle headlong into the digital age, pause to ponder just how far we've come. The 80s generation had no .com, no digital. The future they imagined has been transformed by a technology revolution. My, how we've changed. Welcome to a short history of the modern world, charting the good and bad of a quarter century of innovation. This is Stop Rewind. On this episode, entertainment, the fine art of going out, staying in, broadening our minds, and shrinking our universe. So sit back, relax, and remind yourself how we've sat back and relaxed for the past 25 years. Thanks to science and technology, taking it easy has become an increasingly sophisticated pastime. In the 80s, movie moguls decided audiences needed something big. Really big. This was geode. 200-foot loops of film that ran continuously. Then, cameras got bigger, and the screens got bigger. Thanks to Omnimax, we could watch images the size of a football field. Omnimax eventually morphed into IMAX, and big screen immersive movies were all the rage through the 90s. Other immersive movies didn't quite take off with as much success. Japan experimented with smelly films. Forget scratch and sniff, this was watch and whiff. On cue, compressed air passed over scented bags beneath each chair. Unlike The Sound of Music, the scent of movies didn't become a worldwide hit. In 1991, every actor who'd ever dreamed of making it big was shaken to their digital roots. Who needs actors with their astronomical paychecks and outrageous demands when a computer can create them? The University of Geneva were onto something.
It's not just pictures, it's insight to recreate completely the human mind.
Okay, by today's standards, it looks brutally fake. But this was the beginning of the high-end computer graphics we now take for granted. This revolutionary 3D digitizing process could not only make lifelike human replicas, but also manipulate them in all sorts of ways. Marilyn, Bogart, and a host of departed stars never actually got together on the big screen, but the digital genie was really out of the bottle by this stage. And by 1996, Hollywood was in on the digital act. Artificial actors were the new stars, and computers were the new star makers.
Probably by the year 2000 or beyond the year 2000, we will have movies made completely by one man sitting in front of a Silicon Graphics workstation using 2 or 3 pieces of software, and it will win an Academy Award.
Movies like Lord of the Rings, created at Weta Digital, won Academy Awards for their computer effects. Take one actor, a fetching black bodysuit, 52 cameras, some very powerful software, and you could create your own digital running, jumping, fighting alter ego. And the next big thing in entertainment circa 1986 is still the next big thing in entertainment today. It's 3D. It had been a big thing back in the past with kooky red and blue glasses. By the 1980s, modern technology was finding other ways to trick the eye.
That lobster is there. I'm sitting about 50 feet back from the screen, and it has come nearer and nearer and nearer and nearer to me until now I can actually, it is visually right there. My hand is right round that lobster.
In this system, all the hard work is done by a radical new dual camera, which acts just like the human eye does, able to move independently and focus on subjects at different distances. So what does it look like? Well, we can't show you here. Unfortunately, 3D into 2D doesn't really go. Meanwhile, the Japanese developed the 3D VHD system, complete with liquid crystal goggles and set-top synchronization boxes. Down under, Australians developed a split-screen system that didn't require any type of glasses. But you had to go slightly cross-eyed, which is not the ideal way to watch TV, making this another entertainment dead end. In 1997, another version tried LCD glasses that opened and closed each lens repeatedly. This system has been refined and perfected and is now one of 4 competing 3D technologies. And beyond 3D, what if you could become part of the image? The fog screen took smoke and projected an image through it. Not ideal in high wind, but hey, ideas have to start somewhere. Still on the small screen revolution, content was king. Cable TV meant more channels, more programs, and more ideas. But we wanted to watch TV when we wanted. Smart TV was taking the hassle out of planning your week's viewing. Long before today's hard drive recorders, you could program Smart TV to record 186 hours of your favourite shows each week. It was clunky and you were limited by individual tape length, but it could automatically fast forward through the ad breaks. If you just couldn't wait to watch your favourite show off tape, you could always watch it on the run or sitting down. That's right, TV glasses. A tiny monitor picked up a signal from a receiver on your belt and bounced it off a mirror under your eye onto the lenses. But back then, you were stuck with whatever the networks were offering. These days, chances are you're probably hitting the internet, where there is a huge amount of entertainment, legal or otherwise. There wasn't always this metric pantload of online visual stimuli. Just like anything else, the net had its pioneers. In 1995, an American advertising agency created The Spot, the web's first online soap opera. A bunch of gorgeous 20-something spotmates played out their daily dramas. The spotmates' fictional online diaries were a forerunner of today's blogs. Fans could post messages, email the cast, and suggest plot lines.
Every day, we're creating and inventing and breaking down new walls, and that's what's really exciting.
The internet opened other channels for you to enjoy. Have a listen to this prediction from 1994.
There's nothing to say that as we get more and more channels and as media gets more and more personalized, there can't be the You channel or the Me channel. Hi, welcome to Me TV.
YouTube, anyone? On the internet, anyone can be a star. And we became quite adept at watching ourselves. Want your own chat show in your own car while you drive to work? All you need is a webcam. For a few $100, you have what TV channels spend millions on. A variety chat show starring you and anyone you happen to pick up on the way to work. But if you want real entertainment while you sit down and take it all in, then you need this. Now, there's nothing new about roller coasters. They've been thrilling us stupid since the 19th century. In 1990, the Shockwave near Chicago was state of the art. 17 stories high, the tallest in the world. And if that wasn't freaking you out enough, it was also the fastest.
I suppose the gamble for park operators is public acceptance. After all, how much terror can one body take?
That's all well and good, but what if you could create your own roller coaster? Working your own moves, add a tumble or two, and it's as unique as you are. Well, you can. Coaster designers realized we are all individuals. So if you can create individual experiences on a universal platform, like, say, a robotic arm, then you have entertainment gold. Type in your degree of danger, and away you go. Personal entertainment leads us neatly to another revolution. Gaming. First up, a very famous bit of low-tech fun that turned this into this. Pong. Launched in 1972, it began a leisure revolution. By the 80s, video gaming had become a multi-million-dollar industry. More than a decade before the dot-com boom, electronics gurus and college dropouts were all trying to make their fortune in computer video games, hoping to come up with the next big thing, which, back in 1982, was this. Space Invaders freaks put $500 million into machines worldwide. You got a problem with that? As computer games advanced and sped up, so too did gaming. Why sit in front of a monitor when you can jump into a sphere and watch as the world turns around you? Just don't fall over. Now, on your bike. In the late 90s, parents worldwide decried a generation of couch potato children. The solution? Combining gaming with exercise. Frankly, it's all been downhill from there.
Yes! Winner! Woohoo!
And how interactive is this? Kick, punch, and jump against the Kung Fu master. The only bruises are to your ego. That's the big attraction with all these various kinds of entertainment. They kind of give you the same rush as flying through the air and risking life and limb. Without the actual damage. Which is the main idea behind virtual reality.
NASA attaches great importance to the development of virtual environment systems like this, but it's difficult to avoid the feeling that they'd be just great for video games.
Maybe it was the clunky hardware attached, but virtual reality never really took off. What is generating a buzz is the virtual reality spin-off, augmented reality. It's real life with a virtual world superimposed over the top. Sure, the clunky hardware is still perched on the front of your face. Let's be honest, the imagery can be a little fake. But for tourists, it can take you back to the past without leaving the present. How's this? Combine augmented reality with old-time arcade gaming and you get Virtual Pac-Man. Developed in Singapore, you literally chase your opponent across a set course, grabbing cookies on the way. Talk about ramping it up. In fact, Virtual Pac-Man was an extension of what other entertainment gurus had been pioneering for a while. Interactive entertainment. In Alien War, dark tunnels and enclosed spaces set the scene, as you avoid being attacked by the dreaded space monsters. But there's no fun if you can't shoot your ray gun. An American game called Photon fixed that problem.
It's like the sign says out front, it's the ultimate game on planet Earth.
It was 1986, and gamers across America were playing what we now know as laser skirmish. Photon was inspired by Star Wars, and today's game hasn't changed much. laser guns, body targets, all linked to a computer scoring system.
I think actually more of the entertainment type video games and entertainment centers are going to move in this direction because it is interactive with the consumer.
The force was strong in that one. Arcade games suddenly became simulation centers, and the industry invented terms like location-based entertainment. But whatever you wanted to call it, something about computers and fighting seemed to satisfy a basic primal human need to destroy things. Digital, of course. The Commander Simulator was a personalized family fun ride. State-of-the-art back in the 80s with 3D graphics, powerful hydraulics, and all it took to run it, 44 megabytes. These days, you can fit more on your average memory stick. Seems there was no end to expanding entertainment with computers, including wearing them. Look what happens when high-tech merges with haute couture. These fetching numbers were the creation of artist Melissa Panejas. She scoured the junkyards of the dot-com boom for digital detritus. It wasn't only American fashionistas merging their megabytes. Over in Germany, artists were also making silicon chip clothes you could wear. These noisy little numbers predated the entertainment revolution of personal music players. So thankfully for all of us, this didn't catch on. Unfortunately, showing off your hard drive didn't guarantee dating success. Especially when Mr. Right was using his hard drive to keep himself entertained with yet another video game. In fact, these days, you don't even have to get out of your car to enjoy some on-screen entertainment. Wraparound displays synced directly to your speed, and then you're racing any circuit in the world. When you crash, well, you just start all over again. In Vegas, they'd worked out another indoor way to keep the kids entertained. The Flyaway, a monster-sized tube with a 600 horsepower aeroplane engine, blowing a gale through it at over 200 kilometers an hour.
It really feels like you're flying, and as you start to go up, you do start to feel quite scared.
It was an idea that was developed by a Canadian farmer who first built one in a wheat silo. And these vertical fun parlors are still popular today. The tech heads always had to go and complicate the simple art of having fun. Even good old fishing got the once-over with this Japanese automated fishing machine. To make all those people raised on games like Pong and Space Invaders comfortable, it was remote controlled. It was designed for the fishermen who absolutely had to catch a fish by any means, short of launching a thermonuclear missile at them. You just loop the fishing line from your rod to the boat. Then you send it out to sea, up to 500 meters away if you want. Use the info screen to scan the bottom for fish. Then just wait for a bite.
Oh yes, something. Here we go.
And remarkably, it did work. Fortunately, for the fish of the world, this contraption cost the same price as an actual boat, so it never really became a mass market product. In Japan, they've already discovered what happens when theatre meets science. Created by Toyota, these joystick-operated cyborgs are known as iFoots. Walk them into an arena loaded with people in sparkly costumes and other assorted extras from a sci-fi film, and you might have the kind of entertainment they imagine may keep us glued to our seats in 2020. In the bigger picture though, these iFoots and their four-wheel friends the iUnit were concepts for the individual car. They might be the next step towards all-terrain wheelchairs, helping aged and disabled go off-road. Getting hands-on with robotic entertainment is also what this game is all about. Haptic arm wrestling. Courtesy of the internet and an electric motor, you can arm wrestle over long distances. Haptic is a Greek word that means to touch. And while you can't reach out and touch someone with this setup, you can still humiliate them. Take that. Lastly though, there's been some developments that help you to entertain others. Fancy yourself as a dancer, then add a touch of the light fantastic. That's what they did in San Francisco back in 1987, by adding laser lights that reflected off a lycra outfit while you danced around like a goon. And just as spangly were these ion plasma artworks. Designed to entertain the mind after a hard day's aerobics way back in '87. That wasn't the only sci-fi art being created last century. The hologram also hit the scene. This idea quickly went from visual entertainment to real-life security system as a valuable tool against fraud.
Potentially an insoluble barrier to counterfeiters, because these images are virtually impossible to copy.
Now, back to entertainment. Let there be rock. Enter the Parker Fly Classic. Traditionally, electric guitars were built from heavy hardwood to survive the rough and tumble of rock and roll. But this sixth string was made from lighter softwood, then strengthened with carbon fiber. A novel idea, but these days we're all more likely to be rocking away on one of those plastic numbers you use for Guitar Hero.
Thank you and good night.
If there has been such a thing as an entertainment revolution, then we've all been living it. Thanks to digital technology and the powerful computers that made it possible, entertainment over the past 25 years has taken us places our grandparents could never have imagined. How our grandchildren entertain themselves is the next big question, but that's another story. Until then, in the words of one of the last century's most revered entertainers, that's all, folks!